Good morning and welcome everybody. It is day number 3 and we are coming to you live from La Cupola, of course, in Antofagasta in Chile for the second event on the APB Quest Tour, the qualifying tour. Tez McKenna and South Africa's Dion Myers taking you through this beautiful day here in Chile. And a very good morning to you, Dion. Welcome to Chile.
Morning, Tez. Wow, what a place. What a place.
Unbelievable, unbelievable landscape around here, mate. It's your first time in Chile. What are your thoughts?
As soon as we landed, I was thinking I'm on Mars. This place is unreal. Unreal.
It's quite an unusual landscape, that's for sure. That is the Hootis in the background, and we've just wrapped up our first heat of the day. It is round number 3 of the women's division. It was Neymar Cavallo. I'm pretty sure she was victorious over Begonia Martinez from Venezuela. But let's go out, Poncho, and have a little bit of a look at the lineup and see what's happening in the water here today, because the waves have dropped a little overnight, Dion. It's probably around 2 to 3 feet, but it's still looking highly contestable.
Yeah, highly contestable, super clean though. Yesterday, I think we saw some of the best conditions we've had so far, but definitely very contestable, very solid, and should be good on the low tide.
That's right, and the forecast for Sunday, folks, the great news is that we have a pretty solid swell, about 2 to possibly 3 metres coming in on Sunday. So we're going to have some really nice waves for the finish of the competition, that's for sure. Today, though, it's looking pretty sweet, and we're just about to get into the second heat of round number 3 for the women. We've got some great clashes coming up, mate, throughout the day. After the women's round, of course, we'll go into that do-or-die round number 4 for the men's, and that's going to be pretty spectacular.
That's going to be quite a battle. It's going to be quite a battle.
All right, so it looks like heat number 2 of the women's is currently underway. Let's go out, Poncho, and check out what's happening in the water. And that's the lineup here at Antofagasta, folks. It is a bit of a lull out there at the moment, so that's probably not the first impression we were hoping for. It's heat number 2, round 3 of the Pro Women's Division, and Valentina Diaz is wearing the red singlet, taking on Australia's Lily Pollard in yellow, and it's great to see Lily Pollard back in the competition scene.
Yeah, absolutely, Tez. Actually, talking about the deal, there she goes. Nice little cover-up. Coming third, she's in a free serve this morning. She managed to land a super clean ARS. So I'll be keen to see what she can deliver on the rest of the way. So,
all right, well, these 25-minute heats here this morning, folks, and this is the second of our round 3 heats with the women. We'll get an official result from that first one, but as I said, I'm pretty sure it was the multiple world champion Neymar Cavallo that was victorious in that one. Coming up next, we'll see Teresa Almeida from Portugal taking on Luz Marie Grand Perez from Puerto Rico, and the last one will be Claire McGowan from England taking on Daniela from Chile. So it is a really cool little mix of countries that are being represented here in day number 3, Antofagasta, Dion.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good mix we got here, and the one thing these girls said that they really love competing here, they love this wave as well, and I think they are honestly giving everything. Lily yesterday was her first heat was fantastic. She had a really deep barrel, and she got I think it was an 8.75 if I'm not mistaken, on one of the big ARSs she landed. So,
well, I know that Lily's been very busy down under in Australia, running her surf bodyboard school. So great to see. But Valentina Diaz, we're just waiting for those scores to come through for Lily on her opening wave, and we'll give you a bit of an update on that one. But day number 3 here in Chile. Once again, we're in one of the driest parts of the world. Rain around here is very scarce.
Yeah, we saw that the other day. I mean, everything is open, all the restaurants are open. It's just these small things that you notice. Coming from Cape Town, we're also in a little bit of a drought now, and you kind of just look at water and you look at things in a whole different perspective.
That's right, and well, those scores have come through from that first exchange. Lily Pollard opening up with a 5.5, so she's got her campaign off to a pretty good start. Valentina Diaz, 0.5, so that's the first 2 scores that are locked in here, folks, for heat number 2 of the day. Once again, we'd love to hear from our online audience. We might get Seb, who's, of course, our social media manager. I'm sure that he's watching in. Seb, let's put a post up on Facebook and encourage people to interact with us. It's a really good way to talk to our online audience right around the world.
Yeah, jump onto our socials and let us know where you're tuning in from. I see Tez a little bit of a lull in as well. Things are a bit slow this morning, but as we saw yesterday with the low tide, it actually got a bit more consistent, and I guess we're about another hour and a half away from full low, so I think it'll build it. I think it'll get a bit more consistent.
Yeah, yesterday I guess what we saw was when the tide bottomed out and started to come back in, it did kind of pull the swell with it. So there was a real nice period around mid-morning yesterday. We're kind of anticipating the same kind of conditions here today, but around about 2 to 3 feet when the sets come through, it is a little inconsistent, a little bit of a lull, but there we go on screen there. So 21:40 on the clock, heat number 2, round number 3 of the Antofagasta Bodyboard Festival live from La Cupla in Chile. And the other night we went on an incredible expedition out into the Atacama Desert. Dion, that was just something, mate, wasn't it?
Oh, Teza, that was amazing. I was still so tired from all the flights getting here. Got to the hotel that evening we went into, and it is a sight to behold, an absolute sight to behold. The Milky Way could not have been clearer on any other night.
Unbelievable. There's 4 places in the world, allegedly, where you can see the Milky Way completely unrestricted, and 3 of those places are actually here in Antofagasta in Chile. So there's a lot of astronomers that set up their big telescopes here and check it out, but it was incredible stuff. AtacamaDesertTour.com is the spot to go and have if you're interested. And I tell you what, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Check out some of those photos that are floating around social media. Pretty incredible stuff. So we're down to just under 21 minutes remaining. First heat of the day. Lily Pollard into a slender lead over Valentina Diaz, who's currently holding down the second position, chasing a 5.01 to take the lead.
Yeah, Valentina Diaz still got ample time to get through this. So Lily just holding the lead. As you can see, she's holding priority as well. Just taking it easy. Nice, relaxing morning here on the 2018 Antofagasta Bodyboarding Festival. And what a place this is, to be honest, is. Yeah,
I love it. I was really lucky enough to work with Arturo and the Club Badeo team right from the get-go, Dion, way back in the previous association days. He actually came to Sintra, and I signed a document for him in 2010 to get the permission to run the competition, and worked very closely with Arturo, in those early stages. We rolled out in 2011, and here goes Lily Pollard as we go back to the action.
Look at it, up and riding, nice clean roll, back in the face. So we're trying to get under the lip, they're just getting clipped. So she'll get a good score for that roll. And let's see what the judges think about that.
All right, so just under 20 minutes remaining. We'll try and go back to the replays here this morning, folks, and have a real good look at some of the world's best women in action. But you have a look at the draw that is remaining here. We've got Brazil, Venezuela, Chile, Australia, England, and Puerto Rico and Portugal all being represented. So women's bodyboarding pretty healthy worldwide at the moment.
Yeah, it's very healthy. It's very good to see as well. And it's... and the level of riding, my goodness, Manny, sorry, Tez, the level of riding is phenomenal. These ladies really go all out, and they're really showing the men that they can do it.
All right, while we're waiting for that replay, let's throw it over to Manny Vargas, talking with Neymar Cavallo, the first winner of today's competition.
What up, everybody? This is Manny V, and here I got the interview. Finally, I got able to get the interviews with the riders. Neymar, she won her first heat, but looking out in the water looked very, very tough.
Yeah, on this heat I didn't get much waves, and I was looking for my second one because my second one counting was just 2.5, and I was, oh my god, I have to change this wave, but I couldn't. I was lucky that Begonia, she's a very good competitor from, she surfed here a lot too, and I was lucky she didn't get her better.
I know, she was a little worried. She's like, well, I'm going against, multiple world champion Neymar, but I said, it's anyone's ball game, and the conditions right here, from this point on, it's going to be tough for all the competitors.
Yeah, I know, I have the experience from the long decades, long time here, but on these conditions, it's very tough. It's like make everybody close to each other.
Yeah. All right, well, you won last year, and you're trying to repeat this year. Good luck, you're going into the quarterfinals, and we'll see you then.
Thank you, Manny. Thank you, all the guys watching live. And I want to say hi to my daughter back home, Luna. Ciao.
Ciao. All right, back to the action.
Good on you. Thank you very much, Manny Vargas. Lovely stuff there. And Neymar Cavallo, she is pretty much the Mike Stewart of women's bodyboarding, isn't she, Dion?
Yeah, she is. She's been around for a very long time, and she's got a good repertoire to prove that as well. The surfing showing that she's won this heat, she means business.
Well, she is the defending champion here at the Antofagasta Bodyboard Festival. Beautiful day here, and it's pretty early, by the way, 7:45 Chilean time, which is pretty hard to get people out of bed around this part of the world at that early mark. They like to have a little bit of a sleep in, as we see Valentina Diaz. Nice looking wave.
Yeah, good looking wave. She's coming down the face there. Good little reverse spin. Unfortunately, you can see the wave just fading out underneath her. Another one there. She's needing a 9.76 to get onto Lily, and Lily riding up on this one. Nice little speed check back into the pocket, looking for that section. Yep, not getting that one.
All right, pretty good tactical move there from Lily Pollard too, realising that wave wasn't going to offer too many opportunities. She got off, and she'll try and scramble back into the takeoff zone to assume that first priority. So 16 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. And you're watching day number 3 here from Antofagasta in Chile.
Yes, yes. Look at this little wave coming through now. Nothing much on it, but talking about Lily's comeback.
Well, that was just quickly. That was our promoter there, Arturo Soto. You can hear the guys in the background saying, "Arturo, get out of the way, mate. You're in the camera." How classic was that? Sorry, mate. What were you saying?
No, that's all right. I was just about to say Valentina just got a 3-point ride for her last wave, needing a 7.26. So she's got some work to do. Still 15 minutes left. Anything can happen, Tez.
It's all about using the priority really wisely on a day like today, because wave selection is paramount. You can see Lily Pollard having a little look at that one, and Valentina also just having a paddle for that one. She's in a second priority situation, so she's not going to need... she's going to really need to use the priority wisely if she's going to try and take down Lily. Of course, Lily's been one of the standout competitors for a long time now. She has been off the competition scene for a year or two, so it's great to see her back in the competition vest. But here goes Valentina.
Yeah, Valentina getting out of there, trying the roll through the lip. She's still hanging on. There she is, popping out of that one. She will probably get a good score for that as well from the judges. Yeah, Lily is not someone that's going to easily give up her priority, Tez.
No, that's right. And we've seen Lily Pollard just right throughout the tournament here in Antofagasta, folks, getting barrel after barrel. She has a real nose for a tube, Lily. So this little left-hander is really suiting her perfectly. At the moment, she's controlling this heat and hitting the high notes with a 5.5 and a 4.75. Valentina with a 3.0. and a 0.50. So priority is with Lily Pollard. 14.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, 14.5 minutes to go. Just waiting for the second score to drop from Valentina. Lily, like we said, she's not going to let go. She's here to mean business. I think she has a point to prove. I've been gone, but I haven't been forgotten, and now she's back. She's back with vengeance, and even yesterday she really stamped her authority. So I'm looking forward to Lily. I would say if I was a gambling man, I would go as far as putting a couple of cents on Lily potentially taking the event.
Well, I mean, she's come here on a mission. She's looking really fit and focused, and she's had to start in the earlier rounds. Of course, she's she was seated right up there. She at one stage, only a couple of years ago, she was challenging for world titles, but she's lost her seating and she's on the comeback trail. But have a look at this wave coming through now.
Yeah, total night. One of the better ones of the morning so far. Once again, Lily, proper wave selection, nice roll top to bottom, and opting out. And now, if she swims hard enough, she might even still retain the priority, but she's a bit too far back. So we're looking at a priority change here, Tez.
All right, well, you can see Valentina Diaz just with the arm up and raised as if to say, I'm out there, so, award it to me. But, of course, we do have priority judges these days, and the girls having a little bit of a scramble, but you can see Valentina saying, well, I think I'm out the back, but, of course, the athletes don't make those decisions. The priority judge does.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see Lily swimming really hard, so I think she's gunning for it. And let's see. It's just quite interesting. So Valentina's sitting on a 3-point and a 4-point ride, giving a total of 6.26. So she still has a little bit of work to do with 12 minutes to go. And it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen with this priority call, Tez. All
right, so it looks like the situation is pretty much remaining the same. Lily's in the lead with a 5.5 and a 4.75. Valentina Diaz with a 4.0 and a 3.0, chasing a 6.26 to take the lead. So this is heat 2, round 3 of the women's here from Antofagasta.
All right, Lily looking into this little insider. No, not going on that one. All right, priority is sitting with Valentina Diaz. Now the tide must have shifted here, because Valentina's going to hold on to this one, waiting for one of the biggest set waves that Lily's been getting the whole time. So Lily currently in first place with a total wave score of 10.25, and Valentina with a 7 point. So she needs a 6.26 to advance. This is an elimination round. So from here on, we'll be heading out to the women's quarterfinals.
All right, so once again, welcome along, folks. Stoked to have you on board. This is the second event on the Quest Tour for the APB World Tour 2018. Tez McKenna holding down the hot seat while Manny Vargas plugs in a few things. Of course, Manny working these days with the gang from Stacked, and don't forget you can go to stackedapp.com to download the app, and you'll be able to follow all of the action. You'll see all the live scores as we do, and we're really stoked to be working with Mike and Trav and Mitch and all the gang from Stacked. A big shout out to those guys back home, and I tell you what, it is really just it's going to take over the world. It's the best scoring system that I have ever seen, hands down. So yeah, go to the website, folks, stackedapp.com, and you'll be able to find out all the details, how to download it, of course, onto both your iOS and Android devices. 10.5 minutes remaining. Lily Pollard's in the lead, looking to upgrade a 4.75. Here she goes on the corner of this one. Nice looking wave here for Lil. A little check turn to spin, and silky smooth stuff there for one of the world's best, Lily Pollard from Australia.
Yeah, silky smooth. Once again, showing her confidence, showing her experience, and really giving it to Valentina. Valentina, like I said, I think she's going to be holding on for dear life on that, a priority to try and get a proper score. Back on the Stacked app, it's unbelievable. The scoring is so on point. Live scoring, heat by heat, wave by wave. You just cannot ask for better.
Well, it's more than a scoring app. It's got all the statistical analysis. What we've done is put all the information back into it. There's Lily Pollard. Beautiful little barrel, rolls out of that one, and a nice little reverse to finish off. So Lily at the moment is really just kind of controlling this heat, Dion, and finding all those gems.
Yeah, Tess, she's just keeping busy, and seems like she's just having all the fun in the world right now.
Once again, it's maybe a little bit more experience showing for Lily here, just really controlling that priority situation and able to find the better waves. Coming up next, we've got a cracker of a heat. Teresa Almeida from Portugal. Of course, Teresa is running a great little B&B there in Nazaré. Big shout out to all of our friends watching from Portugal. So good bom dia to all of our friends, particularly in Nazaré, where we've got the Grand Slam coming up later this year, and also Sintra, of course, to Roman and all the gang have been long-time supporters of the APB. Well, Teresa Almeida from Portugal taking on Luz Maria Granprez from Puerto Rico. Once again, we've got two very experienced campaigners coming up in the next heat.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to this oncoming heat. I think these two ladies are also just going to give it all. They're not going to give anyone any quarters.
So a little later on, of course, we've got the 4 heats in this round 3 for the women, and then we'll be going into round 4 of the men's. They are man-on-man heats, and it's do or die. So actually, they're 3-man heats. 2 guys go through.
All right, Valentina choosing to use a priority. Good roll top to bottom. Back in the face. Nice reverse spin. So I think she will definitely be improving on a 3-point ride.
Well, we've got a feeling maybe that might even be her best ride today. We'll see what the judges' interpretation of that was in some numbers, surely. But Lily with a 5.5 and a 4.75, these are not super scores. So Valentina Diaz, I mean, if that turns out to be her best wave, she's going to reduce that equation from a 6.26 to something a lot more achievable. So let's see what happens here, folks. 7 minutes 45 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it says all it takes is only one wave.
That's right.
So
interesting with the men's tour this year, of course. Once we get up there to Arica, where we'll be rolling out a brand new format, Dion, where we're going back to our leaderboard format, where the guys will serve 3 times, and the best 3 waves from those 3 rounds will be added together in a leaderboard format to determine the top 16 to move on through, of course, to the man-on-man part of the competition. It's something that we did in way back in 2011, but there were some fundamental flaws in the format back then that we've been able to since fix up, and we're really excited to go back to that format and see the world's best at least 3 times at every Grand Slam event this year.
Yes, it gives the guys a lot more opportunity to surf as well, and having a word with a couple of the guys such as Jerry or Ian, and they're all very excited about the new format, and I think it's a very good, fair platform as well. What score did you get?
Yeah, 4.25, and that brings the equation down to a 6.01. So Valentina Diaz closing the gap there between herself and Lily Pollard, and with 6.5 minutes remaining, you can see that she's got a little bit more amp in the camp now. She's starting to feel it. A little bit of a sleepy start for Valentina, but she's starting to come home pretty strong.
Yeah, she's definitely woken up now, and I think she's going to be fighting this heat till the end. I would be keen to see what's happening with this priority as well. Lily just using hers as well, so it's going to be a battle, Tez. Another lull and slow waves this morning as we tune in on heat number 2, round number 3 for the 2018 Antofagasta Bodyboarding Festival. We'd like to welcome everybody tuning in from around the world. Give us a shout out on all our socials, and we can see where you're tuning in from. I think one thing we need to say, like, Manny's been working with the Stacked App guys, and he's been working from morning till night non-stop, and from behind the scenes, to get the scoring up, to get the live stream up, and helping the guys. He's an absolute trooper, and I think not enough recognition goes out to Manny's behind the scenes work, more so than he's in front of the camera stuff.
Oh, absolutely. He's just been unreal. He's been, I've been going up for breakfast, and Manny's already down here plugging the stuff in, so good on him, mate. And, he's just been such a big part of this sport for so long. I remember way back in, I think it was the Pipeline Contest in 2009, I remember Manny was living on one of the outer islands, and I contacted him. I said, hey, man, I don't know if you're interested, but I'd love to get you to do the commentary at Pipeline. He goes, yeah, come along. And it was so good on that contest that I thought, if we ever get some proper support for this, for this tour, we're going to get this guy as our anchor man. And of course, just in 2010, the investors came along, and the rest is history. Manny took us through 2011 and 12, which was some really incredible years for the sport. And here he is, still here slugging away, and we love the guy. And, of course, the Boom T-shirts available on the APB website. So jump on there and grab one now. They're pretty cool. Okay, so just under 5 minutes remaining. It is Lily Pollard looking to upgrade a 4.75. So anything north of that, Dion would improve her position. And what does Valentina Diaz need right now to take the lead?
Tess, she needs a 6.01. I would think it would take something a bit more than a roll and a spin on a wave. She would probably have to dig deep and look for some more of a solid combination surfing, potential ARS or a double roll, maybe a spin to finish it off, and the elusive barrel. But as we've seen, they are there.
Yeah, they're few and far between, but definitely at the moment, priority is with Valentina, needing a 6.01. This would be a real major upset if Valentina takes his seat. Lily's come here, as you said, with aspirations to try and win the contest. Valentina, though, is a great competitor, and she'll be fighting right until the end. Of course, she's representing Chile, and she's on home turf, so she'll be feeling pretty comfortable. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, I do agree with Valentina being on her home soil. She would be waiting for that specific wave, and she would also know what to look out for. So at the end of the day, she is holding a priority right now, Tez, and she's going to hold it very close. She's not going to let it go.
She's not in a bad position when you think about it. So with 3 minutes on the clock, and I mean, sets regularly come through. Here she goes now. She's going to use that priority. Take us through it, Dion.
Yeah, using that priority. Looking at this one, the second section not holding up, but a good roll through the lip, power roll. Judges will be looking at that as well. Can she hold on? That is the question.
She had a little bit of bubble trouble at the end there, so unfortunately, that was the right kind of move, though. A nice, big, strong roll. Good commitment there from the Chilean rider, Valentina Diaz. That puts Lily Pollard back into the driver's seat with priority and 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
yeah, I think Lily will be pretty happy with that she has a priority right now. I think she will also hold it very close as well, but she would also wait for that wave, and if Valentina decides to go on something that she might think would be higher scoring, she will play that.
All right, well, there's the APB replay, and you can see Valentina Diaz almost riding out of that one, but not quite. She just needed to come out of that cleanly. Of course, the judges looking for that commitment, those big, strong single maneuvers. That's where the sport is, and unfortunately, just getting kind of pulled out the back of that one on landing. So 2 minutes left on the clock. Heat 2, round 3 from Antofagasta. And as we said, coming up next, another great clash, folks, so don't go anywhere. We have Teresa Almeida from Portugal taking on Luz Marie Gran Perez from Puerto Rico. That's coming up next. Once again, we've got a little post up on the Facebook page. We would love you to go to the APB Facebook page and leave a little bit of a comment. Tell us where you're watching from. Do a bit of a shout out. Tell us who you think's watching, or what you're doing, or where you're watching from. And we just really love interacting with that online audience, don't we, Dion?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pivotal part of this, and it's a pivotal part of any event that we have. It's good to see where the fans are from, and where the riders are from, and the supporters, and the family, and the friends. So that's critical. So let us know where you're from.
Mate, tell us where you're from, because, I mean, this is your first time working with the call team on the APB. We're super stoked to have you here. You've been absolutely nailing it since we got here, and tell us a little bit about yourself. We've only got a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds to do it, but where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from a little town called Cape Town, down in the bottom of Africa. Beautiful place. I can guarantee you, when you go there, you'll never want to leave. I'm just fortunate to be from there, and it kind of doesn't feel like we live in the tip of Africa. We're living in Cape Town. It's a magical place. It's got some of the best waves in the world. It's got some of the most scenic mountains. It's just a humbling, beautiful place.
It looks incredible, mate, and I hope to get there one day, because my sister's from been living in South Africa for 35 years, and that is the hooter in the background. So it looks like Lily Pollard, well, she survived that one because Valentina Diaz was coming back at her pretty closely. Okay, so that is heat number 2, round number 3.
Yeah, we see Lily Pollard taking the victory. Nice hug there. Good camaraderie between these ladies.
Okay, so there we go. That was a victory to Lily Pollard, folks. That was our first heat live from Antofagasta. We're going to throw to a commercial break and be back with more action live from Antofagasta right after this.
I love it. I pay. be.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? This is Manny V, and Dion Meyer and myself are here. Yes, our screen's down here, so if they ever catch us off guard and we're looking down, that's the reason. But yeah, we have the live feed right at our feet. Dion, very, very tough conditions. I've been watching as I've been running around, and there are some waves coming in, but there's not that many out there.
Yeah, very inconsistent as well. But slow. I think with the lower tide, we could potentially see a little bit of a more solid pulse, but I don't think it's going to get much bigger than what it is today.
And that's the thing. As the tide has been pushing in every single day, the waves have been increasing. So that's what they're stoked on. That's hopefully, I think around 10 or 11 o'clock is when the bigger waves, the push onto the reef has been coming. So these heats starting in about an hour or so, they're the ones that are going to be stoked as far as getting the better and best waves of the day. But right now, out in the water, let's get out there. This is heat number 3 of the women's division. Round number, actually, bring me up to speed.
This is heat number 3 of round number 3.
Yes, okay, there you go. Let's get out into the water, Pancho. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't already done so, download the app stackedapp.com. That's where you can follow the live scores, the play-by-play, and also get some stats and more results from your favorite riders. You can actually follow the riders too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. And you can see the history, I think, from the past 5 years.
Yep.
Where they've placed, what they've won, what they need. It's a fantastic application, and I think it's just changing.
Check this out. Sorry, Dion, to cut you off. We always go to the live action. You can cut me off whenever you want, but if you see a rider like this, Luz Marie Gran down the beach, I am going to say she probably went for a roll. The roll is probably the most conservative maneuver to pull off in competition. You're going to get the 2-3 point range for through their lip rolls, soft rolls, but those are the points that may come to determine if you progress or not in these very tough conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of the go-to, just to settle the nerves, get some scores onto the card, and then you can build from there. So for these ladies as well, getting those 2 solid opening scores and then building from there, I think that's most of their plan of action.
Yes, Luz Marie Gran coming to us from the enchanted island of Puerto Rico. Have you been there yet?
I haven't been there yet. No, I'm pretty keen.
Gosh. Yeah, it's one of those places where you go and you don't want to leave. Warm weather, tropical paradise, warm water, and the waves are like Hawaii. But I don't like comparing it because it's got its own feel and its own vibe. And it's got some spice to it as well. Luz Marie Gran looking very strong right now in these conditions. Teresa Almeida from Portugal. Playa del Norte, actually, in Nazaré. She is she likes the bigger stuff, and right now it's not showing us. As you can see, camera 4 is lacking a little bit of coffee. We need to get him some coffee out there.
I reckon we need to get him some coffee. These guys have been working exceptionally hard to try and get this live feed going, Manny, and as I mentioned to Tej, thank you to you for just manning the fort, and it hasn't been easy.
No, man, that's the thing. Like every bodyboarder that I know, we all wear many hats, and this is my first time actually wearing more hats than I'm used to. But you know what? We got the live feed going, we have the scores going, and we got the action outside. But the only thing we can't control is Mother Nature.
Yeah, which is quite unfortunate, because otherwise every day will be 6 foot and pumping and offshore. But you just got to go with the flow. And at the moment, I think this is very good. I'm happy that we are at this point. Yesterday was an amazing day of competition, and I think if we could have had that last couple of men's heats where Ian and Tristan and Jerry and those boys, they were nailing it yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see if you haven't seen the highlights, they are on the Facebook page, Antofagasta Bodyboard Festival. Check that out. But I'm sure all those waves were captured somewhere. They're on data. They're on some hard drives. So once the highlight reels come out from the event, we're going to be seeing some of that. Here we go, out the back. Teresa Almeida taking a look. Very tough, man. So you can see the reef on the foreground right here. And when the wave breaks, it's really 2 feet max when they're doing their maneuvers. So they want the bigger stuff. There's usually a little bit more water on the reef when they do get those bigger waves. And it's just I would not want to be out there right now, especially with these 2 riders, because it's anybody's ball game.
It's anybody's ball game, Manny. And with this small waves, there's not a lot of water on the reef. And I think you can recall a couple of years ago, Ian Campbell was also surfing here, and it was quite small, and he had that massive laceration on his leg, and it was also just due to the lack of water on the reef. And these reefs here all have these little lumps of rocks just waiting for your knees to connect. Still very quiet in this heat so far. Not many waves ridden. Currently in first place, Luz Marie with a total wave score of 4.75, and in second place, needing a 3.76, is Teresa Almeida. Once again, welcome to the 2018 Antofagasta Bodyboarding Festival. My name is Dion Meyer. I'm here with Manny Vargas, the legend. Manny, you've been around the world quite a lot, and you've been to Antofagasta a few times. You seem to have a good connection with the people and a good connection with kind of the nature of things happen here. Is that just due to the fact that you're so experienced in terms of worldly travels and within the bodyboarding scene?
Well, if you can see my eyes, they're very tired. It's rough on the body, man. I mean, getting in a plane and being in that thing for 7 up to 12 hours is not easy. And the hardest part about all of this, and it goes to not only us here, but everybody who's coming from international. I'll get back to that. Here we go. Teresa Almeida needing a small score of a 3.76, which is tough to do in these conditions. Luz Marie paddling, but she will maintain that priority as she's on the outside. But yeah, I mean, the hardest part about all of this for us and for the riders is leaving our friends and family back home. That's the sacrifice. And I had an interview on my podcast with Ben Player, and we talked about that. Well, he talked about that, and that was one of the biggest sacrifices that he had to deal with was, I want to be world champion. What is it going to take? And he realized through the experience that leaving the family, leaving the friends, and not having a girlfriend, because having a girlfriend that's not on the tour with you is the hardest part.
All right, that was just a Teresa on a short. I think this lady seems like sitting a bit too far over to the right hand side and not connecting that second section, which as we saw with the previous two heats, Lily and them getting really good waves and managing to get the scores. We just don't have much scores on the board. We got a 2.75 and a 2.1 for Luz Marie, and a total combined scores of 2.0 for Teresa. So Teresa still needing a 3.76 with 15 minutes remaining in round 3, heat number 3 of the 2018 Antofagasta Bodyboarding Festival. Manny, you were saying that Ben
Player
had to. Well, you have to decide what's it going to be. Is it going to be the world champ? Is it going to be family? What's my goals? What's my ambitions?
And that's the thing. I mean, everybody on the tour has to make that sacrifice if they want, the prestigious once a year award of being the world champion. And it's tough. I mean, and I got to give credit to everybody who's on the tour. It's a tough gig, but we're here because we love it. And we wouldn't change it if we're here. That's what I'm saying. It's pretty amazing. So while we're here, we do take advantage of everything that is thrown at us. For me, one is the food. The food is pretty amazing, and then the tour that we took up into the desert, that was pretty phenomenal.
That was mind-blowing, Manny. That was absolutely mind-blowing. I don't know if you can remember. So the hand of God is coming out of the ground, and it's situated in such a way that the Milky Way arches perfectly over that hand. I mean, it is sublime. It is something you just cannot describe, something you have to see.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So if you do make a plan to come to Antofagasta, check out Atacama Desert Crossing, or Crossings, try them both.com, and the guy puts together some pretty epic tours, not only to the Hand of God out in the desert, but some epic lakes anywhere up in the Atacama Desert where it hasn't rained for who knows how many years. He's the guy you want to hook up with. Atacama Desert Crossing.com. All right, out in the water, 13 minutes to go, a long 13 minutes for these two riders. Everybody's crossing their fingers that with this little increase of tide, we'll be pushing some waves along with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully Teresa can get onto this one. Small insider, quite risky. Just not getting it. You can see she's getting very frustrated there in the water. And with Luz Marie holding a priority, she needs to keep active. She needs to keep moving. She needs to try and get something decent on the scoreboard.
Let me ask you this. When was the last time you competed in these kind of conditions, and what was going on in your brain?
The last time I competed in something like this was not too long ago. It was actually in South Africa. We had one of our local contests, and it's difficult, Manny, because you're getting so frustrated because you're not able to get the score that you want, or able to get that wave that the spot can produce, because you can sit 10 meters to the left or 5 meters to the right, and then you miss that wave you've been waiting for the whole time. And that frustration that you can see from Teresa, that is definitely showing as well. And Luz Marie, she's just sitting there waiting, but with less than 12 minutes remaining, they're gonna have to seriously make a plan.
And this is a round 3. This is a elimination round. Second place in these heats of round number 3 will have an equal 9th place. Here's a fellow Portuguese in the maroon sweater there, Antonio Cardoso, shaved head, looking smooth as ever. And Teresa Almeida's boyfriend, Maxime Castillo from France. Both of them watching on. 11 minutes with low scores. Anything can turn all the way up until that very last second. And again, round 3, it's a head-to-head battle for only one spot that will move on into the quarterfinals, and that's crushing if you can't get out of these heats in these conditions.
Yeah, for one of them, it's the end of the road, and it's a long road to get you. So it'll be fairly disappointing, given the conditions that they haven't been able to get the opportunity to put proper scores onto the board.
If I was in heat number 4 right now of round number 3, I would be keeping an eye on the water like a hawk just to make sure, and I would be timing those bigger waves. I see a lot of riders standing back and they get in the zone, and what they're doing is staring out in the ocean and they're timing the sets, how often these bigger waves are coming, because there is somewhat of a pattern. If the big waves come every 10 minutes, there's a possibility that 2 big waves could come in your heat. So you want to make sure you're out on the outside to be able to have the opportunity to get one of those, but at the same time you don't want to be on the inside scrambling and miss that opportunity. But man, I'm telling you, these conditions are tough. But like that right there, if she was over, like you said, 10 feet, that could have been an easy roll maneuver on that wave, and that could have been in the 2 or 3 points for sure. A big shout out to a couple of friends that have daughters that are getting their daughters into bodyboarding. Sean Tuttle has got his daughter into bodyboarding, and now she's riding for the Custom X team on the east coast of the U.S. And also, here we go, live action. Nope, pulling back loose. Sebastian Kreft, the Chilean, now living in New York. Here we go. Live action off the bottom. Teresa's got to pull these maneuvers. She can't go halfway on these. She's got to commit to catching the wave and commit to pulling a maneuver, especially right now. Those 2 sticks on her scorecard are not going to help. So Sebastian, what up to you and your daughter Colomba? He lives in New York City right now, and I have to yet meet up with him. Coming up next, there she is from, I want to say England.
The UK, yes.
Yeah, so that's Claire McGowan, sorry. She's going to be going up against Daniela Cacao from Chile. Cacao. Yeah, Cacao. How did I mispronounce that?
It took me a couple of turns to get that one right. But Teresa on the last wave, she needs to hold on to that roll, but it's also extremely shallow. So you have this ledge popping up right in front of you, and with a lack of water on it, that she might have had a reason for pulling back. Maybe she doesn't want to connect with the reef in fear that she could end the heat also very prematurely, which is not good. So
right now, these 8 minutes in this heat are 2 things are happening. One, Luz Marie can't wait for those 8 minutes to zip by. So in her mind, these seconds are so slow, it's like watching wax melt. It's not what she really wants these 8 minutes to zip by. Teresa, on the other hand, she hears 8 minutes. She's looking at 8 minutes on her watch, and the seconds are turning into like minutes. I mean, no, they're turning less than. She feels like it's zipping by.
Yeah, that's correct. She's fighting for life here, and Luz Marie's holding that a priority, and she is not letting it go. Saying that there hasn't been many ways, but holding that priority, having been able to play the card if Teresa gets on a good wave, and Luz Marie could maybe take that way from her then. So a lot on the cards here for the girls. So hoping that we get that pulse, hoping we can see some more action as per the earlier rounds this morning. Okay, this is Teresa. She's paddling really hard to get onto this one.
She's got to make it happen. She's got to make it happen right here. 3.16. Come around that section right off the bat. This could be it. She has to pull a roll. She can't find that lip on the inside. She'll do another spin. That is good with 6 minutes remaining. That will come into the 2-3 point range, maybe even a higher 3. So that is definitely going to help her possibly even get into that first place spot. But man, that's how rough it is. But look at this. Luz Marie Grande on the outside with the set of the heat.
Here it is, Manny. Here it is. She's been holding it for so long. Look at her dropping down, holding the line steady, looking for the section. There it is. Roll through the lip. Can she hold on? That is the key right now.
Damn.
Incomplete, unfortunately not. So I'm pretty keen to see what's happening with a Teresa's score. That that could change the game as well. That could. Given a scale in this heat, we don't know.
Well, Luz Marie, you know what? Coming around that section, coming to the inside section, she needs to have speed. All the riders need to have speed to that inside section. As you can see, Luz didn't hold that high line, and when she came up to get that high line, she was able to just not have enough speed. Whoa, so yeah, that was not enough for her to get those high-scoring waves. But look at that. Two spins on that wave got Teresa Almeida 3.60.
Yeah, so she just literally spanned her way to a victory.
Wait a second.
Look at this one.
Answering back, Luz. Nice, clean roll.
That's it.
That's going to definitely get her back into that first place spot. She was looking for a 2.46, and that was what Luz needed to do, so she got a second chance.
Well, but wait, look at Teresa as well on an absolute smoker. Nice, good, clean roll.
Here we
go. Holding on. Can she get through that white water? Very bumpy out there, just getting stuck. She is.
You know what? I think she may have thought she was getting close to the reef.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to slam their pretty face into this reef.
No,
I mean,
look at that. Let's look at those rocks just waiting for you.
Do you think Claire has a matching full suit for each color that is offered here?
Manny, I think you're absolutely correct.
She has yellow fins, so she's ready for the yellow jersey. But there's a keyhole, a little channel from the beach here that'll lead out into the ocean, and that foam right there is coming from some of the seaweed and all the kelp you see on the rocks there, and it's all natural foam. Not it's pretty clean here.
It's exceptionally clean. I think we're shooting back to a replay here.
There it is, and there is, whoa, the first time I've seen that. So here we go. See a clean bottom turn around that section, Luz finding that section and extends her roll. That is going to be probably one of the highest scores of the heat, and yes, it is. You can see it on the screen, a 5.50. Again, when we were talking about, needing a 2 something for Teresa in 6 minutes, within the last 2 minutes, we had the two highest scores of the heat go down.
Yeah, absolutely, Manny. It's not over until it's over. I think Teresa will definitely try and come back and try and hold on to those rolls that she's been getting. And if she had been able to land all of those, it would have been a different game. So she needs a 4.66 with a higher score of 3.6, and Luz Marie holding the first place with a 8.25 with just under 3 minutes 30 seconds. So it's all coming down to the wire. These two ladies are not going to give up. There's no priority yet, so it will be interesting to see what's happening here as we see Luz Marie just speeding up the paddle so that she can get into position for the priority.
So we had, ever since I got here, the sun has been out and shining. Last year, we were here, I think, later in June, maybe even into July, and it was just overcast, super cold. I don't think I got out of my pants the whole time. Well, I changed pants, but it was just cold the whole time. Here we go. Teresa Almeida's support team right here. Up front with the gray sweats, we do have Dino Carmo. In the maroon sweater, that's Antonio Cardoso, looking sharp with that fresh cut shaved head. And behind Dino was
Bonjour, Maxime.
Yeah, bonjour. Now, 4.66. That's going to be a tough score to get out here for Teresa Almeida.
Yeah, it's a difficult position to be in. She needs that 4.66. She's looking to this one, but not committing to. I think sitting right next to Luz Marie could have been a possible option, but then giving Luz Marie the opportunity to play that a priority card if Teresa.
The little P under Luz Marie Grand scorecard, you can see the P in the white box there. That means she has priority, which means she has the opportunity and the option to catch any wave that comes through. But if she paddles for it and doesn't catch it, priority will go to Teresa, just like that. Look at this. Teresa has an opportunity here, 4.66. She can't get around that section. She's sitting in a very difficult spot. There's like this little section between the outside on the inside, and she's taken off on that one part where she won't have enough speed once that wave breaks over on that inside section. These are some of the bigger waves of the heat so far, both of them being caught off guard.
Yeah, definitely. But Teresa's sitting a little bit in no man's land. I think yesterday, if she was there, it would have been good because of the bigger swell and then still offering a bit more of a wall. But now it's just breaking way too quick for her to be sitting in that no man's land. So she needs to move herself across a little bit closer to Luz Marie Manny.
Again, if you want to see what the judges are dropping per wave, head over to your Stacked app. And if you haven't downloaded it, download it. You can get it on the Android store or the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. Stacked app, look it up, and you can see the scores from each one of the judges score sheet. You got your play-by-play of the heats that are going down, and you can actually look up some of the statistics of the riders of their events that are in Stacked right now. So go grab that and follow along with us here at the Antofagasta Bodyboard Festival. Coming up next, we're going to be seeing heat number 4, the last heat of round number 3. Again, only one rider advancing on out of these 25-minute heats. Claire McGowan from England and Daniela from Chile coming up next. But look at this. 5 seconds. Luz Marie on the outside. This isn't going to help. She's going to stay solid in first place. What she did there, she saw Teresa on the inside. Luz had priority, and she wasn't going to give Teresa any chance and took off on that wave. And Luz putting together a solid run right here. Unfortunately for Teresa, that is the end of the road for the young Portuguese here at the Antofagasta Bodyboard Festival.
Yeah, Manny, that's correct. She played the hand. She held onto the priority, and she saw a Teresa on her inside, and she needed to do it. So she secured a victory. She's moving on to the quarters, and the next heat's in the water. So let's see what's going on there.
All right, we're going to pay some bills. We'll be back right after this. Good. Awesome. Good count.